Well, I hope you have already watched part 1 of Peach Torte. The first thing I'm going to tell you now is, from now on, I'm wearing long sleeve shirts. And if you watch part 1, you know why. I don't have to explain it to you. Oh, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I hope you focus on the recipe in that episode. I really do. Next, the reason for part 2 is I left out an ingredient. As soon as I put it in the refrigerator, I came in, sat down on the couch, and I opened my cookbook. I wanted to make sure everything was right. So I thumbed through and I found, let's see, right along here somewhere. Yeah, here it is, Peach Torte. I looked down the list of ingredients and I came to 1 cup of sugar. I didn't add the sugar. That's what was wrong with the glaze. It called for a cup of sugar with the cornstarch and the peach jello and water. If I had added the sugar, the glaze would have spread over the entire dessert. It would have covered more area. Well, I said, oh no, I'm not going to be able to put this on YouTube. So I went to the refrigerator, I got out my Peach Torte, got a great big spoon, and I went into the edge of the Peach Torte. I was dreading it. I thought I'm going to have to delete this episode. But when I tasted it, it wasn't bad at all. Here's what it looked like now. I added some crumbs to the edge, but as you can see, this is it. It's really right pretty. But the glaze itself would have gone to the edge. It would have been a little thinner than this. But actually, it tastes pretty good. So I said, okay. Even though I made the mistake leaving out the sugar, that's just that much sugar that you don't have to absorb and try to figure out how you're going to make up for eating so much sweet. The peaches make it look nice, and I'm eating it now, just so you'll know. It's good. But if you're going to try the recipe, make sure you get all of the ingredients in it. That's the second reason. My third reason, golly, stay with me, folks. The third reason was I started telling you a story about my sister, and I'd got in the middle of it and forgot. Didn't even finish the story. I'm going to start over with that story. My sister, soon be 95. She received the award from her community called Gold Standard of Optimal Aging Award. Strange award to me, but I want to show you her picture first. You're going to think she's pretty. That's her receiving her award. She looked good in pink. Her hair looked real pretty that day. And that's the certificate she got, and the lady standing next to her is giving her the little medal that goes with it. Now, her son drove her from Western Kentucky to Louisville, Kentucky, where they were going to have a luncheon. And all of the people who had been chosen as volunteers for this award, she said there were, I don't know how many had attended, but it was a good attendance in Louisville now. And I got to thinking, you know, she's almost 95. She was probably the oldest person there as a volunteer. You don't think of volunteers as being the senior citizens. In this case, they are senior citizens, but they had to be at least 85 years old to qualify for this award. There were 4 people from her county. Now, I know she was always attending meetings. She was with groups of ladies. Every week, she's at the senior citizens, I don't know if it's a facility, what it is. But anyway, she has lunch with them every week, and she plays bingo with them, and she brings food from her house. For instance, summertime, you've got fresh vegetables and fruits and things, and she takes tomatoes and cantaloupe, whatever she had handy. She always was carrying something like that for somebody else to eat. Now, one of the programs she was involved in that I know about is the shoebox. The children starting their first week of school for the year, group of the ladies, they all get together and they fill up shoeboxes with items the children will need and can use in their classwork. There might be pencils, big erasers, notepads. Let's see, what all would you put? Crayons. You might have ribbons for the little girls, and you'd have socks. There's all sorts of small items. Protractors. I don't know if children that age use protractors or not, but rulers. That's just a few of the things that you can add to the shoebox. Maybe some crackers, some candies, some little treats that they can eat. So anyway, I know she did that this year. She was busy filling shoeboxes for the children at school. She worked with the Red Cross. I think sometimes she was at the health center. I don't know what she did there. I know she wasn't giving shots. If she did anything, she was getting shots. But she's a busy lady. That's my sister now. She's almost 95. And I said, were you the oldest one there to receive an award? And she said, no. There was a lady that was 103. Think about that. Doing volunteer work at the age of 103? Well, she was. And there was a man who was 107. What can you do when you're 107 to help others? Obviously, he was doing the right thing. And this is a wonderful program. So I'm going to show you my sister's picture again so you can see how pretty she is. Here, she's got her award. She wasn't planning to go to Louisville, but her son took her, and I think she really enjoyed the luncheon and the attention. When you're almost 95 years old, how much attention do you get? Not much, not much. But she's pretty proud of her award, and I'm proud of her for the things she has done. And we just took these things for granted, giving no thought to the effort you have to put into doing volunteer work. So I wanted you to see that. I wanted my story finished and doing it right. The funny part is, she told me she's been asked to talk to the Rotary Club. Well, I had to laugh at that. She's saying, what do you tell the Rotary Club? A woman talking to a group of men. I said, you're good at talking. You'll think of something. I said, just talk about yourself. Talk about what you did, the different programs that you're involved in, and let them know that they can do the same thing. They may not consider themselves all senior citizens yet, but they're going to be, and they can start now. And you can tell some of the programs that are available that they can get involved in as a volunteer. So, and to add to that, I said, well, you and I are the only two women I know of that has made speeches at the Rotary Club. I was asked one time, way back when, if I would come and talk to the Rotary Club. Well, at that time, I was in craft work, and I had my craft shop. And I thought, what am I going to tell these men in the Rotary Club? They weren't all retired. Well, I took one or two projects with me, little handcraft projects, just to use for examples of when they get older, when they're retired, and they can't think of anything to do. If they're not the golfers that are out on the golf course every day, what are they going to do? So I advised them to get involved in some kind of sport, some kind of craft, something they would enjoy doing on their own, not necessarily for anyone else, but for their own pleasure. I managed to get through that little speech, but I just thought it was kind of funny. Both my sister and I have talked to the Rotary Club. I don't know any other women that have, but I'd sure like to know what you talked about. So I think maybe this Wednesday is when she's supposed to go to the Rotary Club, and I said, talk about yourself. You tell those men the things you have done as a volunteer. It's things they can do too, and let them learn from you. And I said, as far as talking concerned, it runs in the family. You can talk and they'll listen. So folks, this is part 2 of my peach torte segment. I am enjoying my peach torte tonight, and I'll be enjoying it for the rest of the week. I hope you try the recipe, especially Thanksgiving or Christmas. There is nothing better as a dessert. You won't need any other kind on the table. But buy the best peaches you can find in the cans and get you a little jar of the maraschino cherries, and you decorate the top of your peach torte, and it will make a good impression. When they see it, they'll want to taste it. Take my word for it. I hope you try this recipe and let me know how it works. Now this is part 2. Make sure you have watched part 1. And it's in my book. This book right here. Page 55, 56, and 57. And keep in mind, I've had this recipe for 43 years. Don't make it very often, but I sure do like eating it, and you will too. And thanks for watching me.